Number two, it has been 12 long months. It has been 12 long months of you being asked to do things that you're not supposed to ever need to have to do. It is 12 long months of you having to show up in the mundane. It is 12 long months of you figuring out how to master the mundane. And that's really hard because the mundane is hard. It is 12 long months of you working to build a business and you haven't seen each other. It is 12 long months. I cried yesterday. I was on a call with Liz Dowse and by an accident, my throat cracked. And I said, I've never missed someone so much. And Liz Dowse and I are close, but guys, like, we've met like 5 times and we've become so close based from a global business internationally. And you need to remember that you have those feelings with everyone, no matter whether we're together or we're apart. And guys, I'm going to tell you something that's so sad. I don't know whether we're going to get together anytime soon. I hope that changes, but we don't know. So tonight I want to talk to you about a couple things. I want to talk about leadership in crisis. I want to talk about showing up in crisis. I want to talk about doing it anyway when you don't feel like it. I want to talk about, I somehow by an accident found the video of me this morning, the day after Jamie's heart attack. And I did a 9-minute video in Crush Nation. It was 7:11 in the morning. Jamie was in ICU. No, it was the day after. So 2 days after he was in ICU, I was going to get a coffee because it was safe and he was okay. And I remember when I listened back to it, I got so emotional because I talked about how scared I was. And I talked about how much this team had our back when the worst thing happened in our lives. And guys, the pandemic didn't happen for 6 or 7 months after that, right? Or no, 5 months after that. So I had 5 months of trying to navigate the hardest thing that's ever happened to me. Not talking about a pandemic. Like, I'm talking about something that none of you should have to ever witness, and I pray you don't. And one of the things I said in that video this morning that I listened to was the fact that this business is so important and it's so critical to continue to show up in your own business with your purpose and your passion, even when things are hard, and especially when. I'll tell you something right now, and I don't know how many of you this will resonate with, but I want you to think about how this business has actually saved you this year. I want to ask you how this business has saved you this year. Because this business has saved me on multiple occasions. And every single time that we feel really low, you need to think about that. Because we actually have zero perspective about what's really hard. Your perception's your reality. And I would beg to differ that other people are hurting a hell of a lot more than you are. But we fall victim to society. We fall victim to complainers. We fall victim to the women surrounding us at work that are lowering our frequencies. We fall victim to the bullshit on social media or that one person that said one thing that threw you off your game. We fall victim to being frustrated and tired and thinking it's all a lot. Guys, I'm building 2 7-figure businesses. I'm building them. Legacy and this one. It's hard. I'm very tired too. I appreciate it. But I will never say that I'm tired. You know why? Because I prayed to have an inbox this full. And I prayed to have people to talk to. And I prayed to have this product available. I prayed for this. And you prayed for this too. Yet it's hard. Ooh, no, that real? I'm just kidding. But like, that should make you laugh. You're stronger than this. All of you are stronger than this. Every single one of you has walked through a harder day than right now. Every single one of you has walked through a harder day than today, and you've survived that. And I think we forget that. Jen. We've had harder days. So when you are sitting in your wallow that you may not have hit SC, ooh, it was hard, I'm going to ask you, how hard did you work? How many times did you do your business activity tracker? Have you earned the right to feel sad? Or are you just frustrated with yourself? Because there's a huge difference between being frustrated with your effort and feeling like this isn't for you. I know that when I feel shitty, it's because I haven't done what I know I need to do. I know that when I feel low, it's because I didn't connect with people. Because you know what happens when you connect with people? You feel really good. It's an amazing, is it not amazing? Like when you message or like someone hits your poll and you message them back, they're like, I totally want information. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm amazing. Even the day before, I was like, I'm the worst coach. I think I'm going to fall out of all the things. Like, this really is this business that goes like this. But here's what I want to tell you. The universe matches your energy. And if you wake up every day and you say, you know, like, keep me out of your way. Keep me out of your way. Let me know who I'm supposed to talk to. Let me know who's ready to join my team. And you have this joy for this business. It changes everything for you. But so often we get so caught up in how hard things are that we forget how actually simple this business is. And you're all incredible at it. Guys, you are the fastest growing team, I'm going to say, in probably one of them in the network. And it is super easy to get off track and to allow our frustrations with our circumstance, our nutrition, our meditation, our evening stuff, and just completely have it level us. Guys, I watched a video from a year ago where I like basically told everyone that because of COVID, I was going to get an evening routine down. I still don't have a fucking evening routine. I need to parent myself. Like, I still can't go to bed on time. Like, I know it's healthy for me to go to bed and I still can't go to bed. Like you're never going to be perfect. Yeah. Remember, Court? I laughed so hard. I was like, and I'm still, no, well, that didn't work. Right. So I can be super hard on myself, or I could remember that there is what's called psychological flexibility. Guys, you can't always be happy. It's not always going to be ideal, and it's not always going to be okay. And you're going to want to show up in your business, on your team, with your kids. How many of you want to hide in the bathroom some days? It's like, yeah, right, Renee? Thank you. Thank you. Someone raised their hand. But like, it is normal to feel so many things. And here's the kicker. And I love this analogy about a sandcastle, right? So you build this sandcastle and you're away on vacation with your family and you build the most beautiful sandcastle. And you take a picture and you're breathing it in. Guys, within 1 minute, a wave can knock that sandcastle down. And Matthew McConaughey says this really well. I've been binge listening to him and Mel Robbins. And one of the things they say is life. And before Jamie's, what happened for us with his cardiac arrest, I never realized how fragile this life is. I never understood that this life, what you think is so hard, I need you to sit down and actually write stuff out. And how many of you have your Rise Up planner in your contrast exercises filled out? So this is on page 15 and 14, and it's your contrast and your clarity statements. So for example, your contrast statements are the first 10 things you don't like in your life right now. How many of you can write down, like, someone write it down, like, what do you not like right now? I'm gonna write it down and like cast it out. So for me, it's like, I a lot of the time thinks I'm not worthy and I'm doubting. So that is a contrast statement for me. I'm so busy. It is a lot. Feeling like I work too much. I am sabotaging. I am tired. These are awful, by the way. These are making me feel terrible. Just even reading these, like even the fact that they're written, I like want to hide them. So in my clarity statements, I have written, it's on its way. Listen closely, sis. I love knowing that I'm doing everything I can to grow. I am worthy of feeling my best, and that means taking time for you first. Your worth scale is high. You are creating a life of financial freedom, and you are doing incredible things. This takes sacrifice, time, and heart. I have no doubt that I can establish a stronger marriage and evening routine. I kind of doubt the evening routine. This will happen and prove full show. I have no doubt I can claw back control of my days and maintain focus. Do you see the difference in that? I'm so tired. How many of you have said, I'm so tired this week? How many of you have said to your husband, this is so hard? How do you think he'll be supportive when you say, I need to go work again? If you're saying how hard it is, how much it is, how tired you are. How much are you believing that you want this? This is important stuff, guys. What you are talking about, you are literally attracting. You are not tired, but alcohol makes you sleepy. Choose wisely. Haven't had alcohol in a long time. That's good for me. This is compounding. You are building an incredible team of business owners that are learning to be leaders in their own lives. You are in control of you. You don't have to scroll or waste your precious time. You aren't, you won't, and you are an incredible leader and steward and heart-strong woman. Love wins always, lead with love. I read that every morning. I read it every single morning, and sometimes I read it during the day. And if you have not done your contrast statements and then done your clarity statements, it is an incredibly powerful exercise. In the team call I did, there is a workbook in Crush Nation that has this in it. So if you haven't done my Power of Vision team call, I highly recommend you do it. We walk through all of this. And it's the recordings in Crush Nation and the workbook for you. But if you're not actually taking control of your feelings and your thoughts, you are going to crumble in this business. You will self-destruct. And it is super important to, who did the 10 impact declarations? I don't know. Oh, yeah. So one of the things that I wrote down, this is from John Maxwell. Leadership in crisis reveals what you have inside of you. So how many of you are feeling right now that you're not a strong leader? If that's the case, okay, that's good. I would highly recommend doing some leadership development right now versus personal development or self-help. A lot of us stay in the self-help realm where you actually need to build your leadership and your professional development, especially when things are hard. You need to put your business brain on. And a lot of us lead with our heart rather than our brain. And your heart and your brain are powerful, and you are so equipped to crush both aspects, but you have to become you need to become inoculated. And I'm not talking about the vaccine, that's important too, but like you have to become inoculated to like not being able to literally get shook down. Robin Sharma is fantastic. John Maxwell is fantastic as a leadership book. If you haven't read any of Simon Sinek's, The Power of Why, his books, like Simon Sinek is so talented. Leadership is phenomenal by John Maxwell. The 11 Laws of Irrefutable Leadership or Growth is like huge. And here's the thing. This is what I'm going to read some of his quotes here. Crises are common, intense times of difficulty requiring a decision that will be a turning point for you. So you're either going to lean into your business right now or you're leaning out. There's no middle ground. Because if there's middle ground, your toes out. And that means you're out of your business. If you have one foot out the business, you're not invested. But the reason why Rachel on your team, Courtney, hit SC so fast is because she worked her ass off in February. That's why she wasn't dwelling on what she wasn't doing. She made connections. So guys, what you do right now is going to yield you results in May. What you did in December is yielding you results in January, February. So every single time you take your foot off the gas, every single time you stop walking, you are literally going back to square one. And that can either sound like devastating for you or really empowering, being like, fuck that. I am not taking my foot off the gas. Guys, there are times where I am lying on the ground like this. Okay, 2 more minutes. Just like trying to get through and doing it. I will not go to bed until I'm finished. And maybe that's part of why my evening routine is so brutal, is because I need to be a better steward of my time during the day when my kids aren't here. And that requires you being so self-reflective and having no ego. I love what Wayne Dyer says, ego, and for those of you that are spiritual, some of you are not, and that's okay. Talk about universe, whatever you want. But edging God out is really you just saying, whatever, I can control this. You can't. You can't control, you can control your belief, but if you also can't control the negative. Because if that's your narrative, if you are sitting in a negative narrative, you are never going to survive in this business, even on this team. And you know what else you're going to do? You're going to bring the team down. And little by little, you're going to drag the team down. So every single time you show up, guys, you need to like have a pump up process where you're bringing your energy that is a 1 to an 8 as fast as you can. Brendan Bouchard is really good too. He's an awesome leader. Brendan Bouchard can teach you guys how, when you're at a 1 energy level, to go to an 8. On the power hour on Sunday night, I was crying. I was like, I do not want to do this. This is the last thing I want to do. I don't want to do a Sunday night power hour. I am so tired. I was the 1 and I had to bring my energy up. Guys, you have to think about that is your requirement every single time. You have to bring up. Oh, did I just freeze? Am I back? Oh, I just froze. Oh, I'm back. You have to bring this back up. And you have to make sure that you're giving the right perspective and you're leaning in at all times. You have to remember that this shall pass, but the good times pass too. So if you're just waiting till it's good again, if you're just waiting until the next right time, if you're waiting until ideal, if you're waiting till your kids stop screaming, that probably won't happen for a while, right? Like, it won't always be fluid. Things are not going, I'll never think that this life is easy anymore. It's just naivety. It's not going to be the perfect formula. It's just not. And so many of you have walked through worse days that you need to check yourself. And you need to write your contrast statements so that you are so focused and that you are indestructible. Crisis is a distraction. And distraction can equal traction. And you need to get focused on your traction. What is the traction that you want in your business? What is the traction that you want in the growth of your company this year? What is your organization going to look like? What is it going to feel like? How are you actually taking that seriously? Have you mapped your stuff out? Have you planned out your premier goals, your elite goals, your diamond goals, your emerald goals, whatever those are for you? But don't just focus on the rank, focus on the impact. What's your vision? What's your mission? Because I know a lot of you right now are doing more work for your employer than you are for yourself. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You're totally replaceable at work. And you're working so hard. You are not making yourself irreplaceable in your own business. You need to think about that. Are you making yourself irreplaceable in your own business? I'll tell you something. If you don't message that person, Erin's going to. She did. I almost lost Julie to you, Erin, just so you know. Julia, I was like, Erin asked you to coach? She's like, yeah. I was like, of course she did. Like, and that was the biggest lesson for me. Like, guys, every single time you take your foot off the gas and you don't follow up and you don't trust your gut, I just reached out to this girl, Faye, who's her and her sister, they're twins. I want them to coach so badly. I thought it was actually Hazel, her twin sister, because they're identical. And I never would have said this to Faye usually, but I thought it was Hazel. So I just before the call, you guys were all doing your advancements and your recognition. And I literally messaged who I thought was Hazel, and it was Faye, who I've never said this to directly. I was like, psst, I'm still waiting for you to be a coach on this team. And she messaged me back. She goes, how much is it? And we're getting on a call. And that took me 13 seconds, but it's taken me 2.5 years of working with these two women. They talk about it all the time. They can't wait to do this. And had I not just done a casual message, I think you forget. I think you forget that your clients want to hear you say, psst, I think you would be an incredible coach. Have you ever considered it? But you're afraid. Stop being afraid. I do that all the time. And guess how many of my clients turn to coaches and are killing it? A lot. I'm going to say 60% of my team are we're clients. But we forget. We forget, guys. We forget that every single thing you do, how you show up in this business, how you show up on social media, how you show up in your life. Gosh, guys, if I could come through this screen, take your shoulders and look you in the eyes and you could see what's possible through the things Jamie tells me every day. Like, the income is one thing that's unbelievable. It blows my effing mind. I never thought that possible, but I don't focus on income, guys. I focus on how many humans I can serve. And that is my mission. Like, you have to figure out what your mission is and never stop that. And if this is a hobby for you, that's okay. That's awesome. But if you are really having a non-negotiable that you're going to change the freaking world, you need to actually believe that. Because I know that's a goal of mine. I want to help change the world. And that may sound insane to some of you. That may sound, well, how do you even do that? You honestly have to know that if you do not believe in yourself right now, you do not believe that people want to join you. How do people know that you are there for them if you're not talking about it? That is selfish. That is your fear getting in the way of the badass you are. And that's your responsibility. And I want to tell you something. My therapist said this to me this morning, and it was so important. So I was telling her about this year-long evening routine that I've been shitting the bed on. It's like I'm going to the principal's office every week with her. It's amazing. But she's the best life coach and psychologist. It's phenomenal. So she said to me, she's like, Kim, can you stop saying that you need to get your shit together with things? She said, it's very harsh on yourself. It's really mean. How many of you have said, come on, get it together. You got to be better. You got to be stronger. And you're mean to yourself about this coaching journey. How about if you say this instead? Okay, let's apply it to our business, but I'm going to give you what she told me I need to say about my bedtime. Tonight, I'm going to go to bed before 11. One day at a time. Tonight, I'm going to go to bed before 11. Tonight, before you go to bed, you're going to message those 10 people that you're really afraid of. Not, you're so shitty. I haven't done that. I'm so scared. Tonight, before I go to bed, I'm going to message those 5 people that I really want to connect with. That's it. It's starting to shift your perspective and take massive action. And those limiting beliefs that are in your head right now are what are blocking you and what are sabotaging you in this business. And they still do this to me to this day, but I am so much stronger for it. There's a couple things that have helped. Meditation every single morning. The vision meditation, I'm going to send you guys one from my meditation coach. And I would love if you guys would 12 minutes, It's vision. It's amazing. And I want you to try it. And I want you to listen to it every day for the next 30 days. If it's not in the morning, do it at night. It's fine. Don't do it while driving, but any other time. Walking's fine. But like, just, I need you to try this because meditation is king. Number 2, I really need you to figure out, and I'm going to send you guys that booklet so you have it. It's literally, I took it right from the Rise Up Planner, but it's your contrast statements and your clarity statements. What is your mission statement? What is your vision statement? So I know we're talking about our vision boards and our workshops. I have mine, or my vision board. I have that here. But what's your vision statement? How about it starts with 2021 was the year everything changed? Or what about this? March 17th was the day everything changed. It was the day that I stopped doubting myself. It was the day that I leaned into my faith more than I leaned into my fear. It was the day where I actually believed I had the potential to build the most incredible team of women that are resilient and resourceful and research-driven and unbelievable. I have the capabilities to do this. It was the day that I decided that I could be an incredible parent as well as build an incredible business, and that roofs are man-made. And I've been putting a roof on my head for far too long. March 17th was the day that everything changed. March 17th was the day where I decided to stop playing small. March 17th was the day that I decided to stop participating in negative toxic behavior and toxic positivity from the workplace that I actually want to get out of. March 17th was the day that I decided to stop calling bullshit on the dream I actually have and claim it out to the world. March 17th was the day I stopped being so scared of what if I succeed? What if I attract a woman that works harder than me? What if I blow my own damn mind? March 17th was the day I stopped disbelieving and I started to take the word unbelievable out of my vocabulary because it's believable and it's possible, but it takes work, hard work. Anything you want takes hard work. So stop undercutting yourself. Stop it. Every single time you say something negative, you are literally like you are just slashing your arm. You have to take it that seriously and figure out how to parent yourself. And that's the hardest part of this business. I'll tell you that right here. This business will crack you open so hard. That's what makes most people leave. Because you're not strong enough to handle what's actually holding you back. And you need to figure that out. And that's going to take therapy. That's going to take coaches. That's going to take you looking into your freaking demons. And that's okay. Because you want to know what? In a few years, you're going to be able to afford a really good, expensive therapist like I have. And I see her every week. And it's the best paycheck I've ever spent because it's an investment in my business because my business is me. And the stronger I am, the stronger my business is. The stronger my life is, the stronger my resilience is, the stronger my business is, and the more impact you make, and the women's lives you change. And I think sometimes we really forget about that. You have to lean into yourself. And I'll share too, a lot of the times we don't actually acknowledge in therapy what we really want. Have you told your therapist the actual huge dreams you have, or are you just talking about the past and the future that's keeping, or the past that's keeping you really small? Because there's a huge difference between a life coach and an executive coach and a therapist. So I would be really, really aware of that as well. Like that was a game changer for me. When I got an executive life coach that didn't just focus on my past, And I'll tell you something right now. I had a therapist once told me that I should be divorced, bumping Coke, I think, bumping something. I don't even know what you do with bumping, whatever, and drinking Chardonnay in a townhouse. He even said in a townhouse. With my past, clinically, that's what should have happened to me. But I'm going to tell you something. You're all survivors. Every single one of us is a survivor in something that we've done in our lives, something that we've gone through, a crisis, childhood stuff, grief, death. That didn't kill you. The problem is you're not dealing with it. And all the shit you're holding inside from your childhood, from all these other things, is the real problem of what's going on for you in your business. And that's probably really heavy and a lot to take in. So I want you to process it. But this is the number one reason a lot of women don't survive in this business, because you think you're not strong enough to handle your worst story. And the truth is you are. And when you start to share your truth and when you start to heal, like Boeson said, right, you are going to literally change hundreds of thousands of women's lives. But so many of you lead with products. You don't lead with your story. I love the sisterhood. I love you all. But you're not the sisterhood. You're you. And how many of you are hiding behind the sisterhood instead of actually doing what you love and talking about you? How many of you are not running a free group that you actually love because it's easier to just do the one that's already being done? How many of you are just, it's right? What, like, I'm being honest. You really need to think about that. Are you doing what's easier? How's it working for you? If you're not hitting SC, you're going to need to change your strategy. What do you love? What makes you you? What makes you so lit up? Like, do you love, I don't know, do you love Disney? Do you love dancing? Whatever. Who are you? How much of that are you sharing? Because this business is such a small part of the workouts, and it's such a small part of the product. The community part of it is amazing and huge, but you're the driving force to the community, not the name of your community, not the feeling of the community. It's what you are creating. And I think sometimes we hide behind, I know I did. I hid behind Jamie for so long. I hid behind things he was creating or doing because that was easier. And it is hard work to create your own stuff. It is hard work to be original. It is hard work to come up with reels that not everyone else is doing. It's hard work. I choose that hard. I choose to pave my own path. And I know you guys do too. So when it gets really hard, I want you to think about how badly you want this. And then I want you to hug yourself and say, let's go. And give yourself a pep talk. I shit glitter. I got this. I'm not tired. And I got this. And you go. But if you tell yourself you're tired, you tell yourself this is hard, you tell yourself I'll do it next month, you're putting yourself back. And you're too good for that. You're just too good for that. This team is too good for this. And you guys are all building your own businesses uniquely. And you need to own that part of your story and then come together collectively. And that is where you guys will be indestructible. Every single one of you needs to freaking hit SC. I'm sorry. That's helping 3 people. If you're not helping 3 people, you are a hobby coach, and you're probably not as serious about your business as you think you are. And that's okay if you're in a season that this isn't that serious for you. But if it is serious for you and you want to commit more, I want to empower you to figure out what are your income producing activities, because that's what's going to move the needle. And if you need help, like Courtney said, I'm in your chats. So put my name in there. Throw me a message. Ask me how you'd answer something. But my gosh, guys, don't go silent. Don't go reclusive. Don't hide. Don't not engage. Don't disappear, because that'll kill you in your business. And you guys are too good for that. You really are. So I don't know whether any of this was helpful, but it was a little heavy, but I'm here for questions and answers and to bring you all back up. Because you're amazing.
You are so amazing. Every single time you come on our call, it's like so emotional and raw and real and honest, and we appreciate you so much. I loved what you talked about getting your energy from 1 to 8. I agree. Those Sunday nights, like those Sunday night power hours are killer.
We changed them. Just so you know, we're doing Thursday. We're good.
What's your trick? What's your trick on getting from the 1 to the 8? Like, what do you do to pep talk yourself?
Okay, I'm going to show you. So on YouTube, I have a library of 37 videos, and I listen to them before I have to start. So I will go find one that is short, and I will listen to it. Or I will listen to like Under Armour, Rule Yourself, that's a minute. And I just like get myself going. I listen to, so I'm an athlete, and what pumps me up are my like pre-game songs. So I have a pre-game song list, and I literally listen to a song, or I listen to Al Pacino speech. Weird, but it fires me up so hard. And every morning, guys, if you're like, you're not on Zoom with me, I should come on your Zoom one morning. I like march from my bench over to my workout area, like inch by inch. And if we don't rise, if we don't rise as a team, we will die as individuals. And I literally like and that's what pumps me up. So you've got to find something. Yeah, I've got some podcasts on, or Spotify lists on podcasts, or sorry, playlists on Spotify, and they're all motivational. And I only listen to that, and it fires me up. But Brendon Bouchard did say this. He said, if you jump up and down and you like, okay, I got this, and you tell yourself you're not tired, you won't be tired. So I played Rocky as I went into the power hour on Sunday night. And I was like, I don't want to be here, but I am here. And I was a 1, and now I'm an 8. I use it as an example because that is what happens in this business. You can be a 1, and let me tell you, you still have to do your back, guys. You still have to show up on social media. You still have to represent your storefront. Think of how many businesses went under this year. Yours didn't. And it will if you don't show up. So don't allow that, right? So that's what I would say. You have to choose your energy. But Brendon Bouchard's got a really good exercise on it. He calls yourself a power plant. You're a power plant.
So good. That's so awesome. Does anybody have any questions? Like, you have the number 4 coach in the network here to answer any of your questions. Take advantage. Take yourself off mute if you have something.
Jamie, obviously stalking in the background.
He came down and sat on the couch where I could see him. And he's like, I'm here for the team call. I'm like, no, you need to leave. You can't sit here. I won't be able to do this. Hold
hey,
on.
I'll go. Hi, Kim.
Hey, how are you, Marianne?
Good. How are you? Thank you for the love on my reels. I felt like a celebrity was laughing at me.
Laughing. It was so good.
Okay, so I am sort of at the point now where I feel like I have exhausted as much of my like war market as I can. I've like reinvited and gone back and tried to get them to join the free group, and it's either like ghosting, no, or they're already doing something, or I've already got them.
Yeah.
So my goal now is to try to like reach new people, and I sit down to do the work because I want to do it, but I don't know what to do. Like, I know I need to make connections, but I'm struggling with like, when I sit down to do my work, what am I doing? Like, I know what I need to do, but don't know how to do it, if that makes sense.
Okay, so let's unpack that, because I'm sure this relates and resonates with a lot of people. So a couple things. So let's work from the bat. So are you referring to?
I have the Rise. I've been using Rise.
Okay, but what are you doing for your daily activities that tell you what to do? Because Rise Up Planner's empty.
No, I write them, what I'm supposed, like posting on social.
You write, yeah, you've written what's on the business activity or in your business activity tracker.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll still use the basic
Yep.
business activity tracker, whatever way you track it is awesome. But
Okay.
so initiate connections and add followers is 20 minutes. How much time do you spend connecting with people? What research have you done as the business owner? If you feel like you're struggling with initiating connections and adding followers, what YouTube videos have you watched? How to grow my following? Have you looked into what Brock Johnson and Shalene Johnson do? They've got.
Yeah, I joined it.
Okay, so have you watched any?
I've been working through it, but it's so much sometimes. I still feel like sometimes I'm overwhelmed and then I end up doing nothing because there's so much to do.
Okay, so I would suggest to stop watching and consuming and start acting.
Okay.
So it is super simple to like a post and write a comment on it.
Yes. Okay.
And you need to do that 15 times a day with 15 different people. You can write that down.
Okay.
And you can message me tomorrow when you started. And they're all done.
And where do I find the people?
Where do you think you'd find the people? What are you interested in, Marianne? What do you love?
Horses.
Okay. So would you like to work with women that work with horses? Would you like them as your clients?
Yep.
Okay. So have you looked in hashtags that have women that work with horses? So let's look that up. Let's look that up. I'm going to look that up right now. No, I am. I'm just going to see how many people are in that hashtag. So women and horses. Tags. Women and horses around the world. So women and horses have a ton of beautiful art. So you need to go through these and see whether or not any of these resonate with any of you. And if they do, then you would go and talk to them and you would start commenting on their pages. So maybe of horses, is there something about horses? Do you ride horses?
Yes, I was a competitive horseback rider.
Okay, so you know like the lingo.
Yes.
So what would be a hashtag that you would use? This is the shit I'm talking about.
Okay.
You need a white piece of paper. You need to be like horses. What did I do? Is it like what? Because I don't do horses. So I wouldn't know like what would be a good horse lingo.
Yes.
You need to remember that. What is it, a horse tournament? I don't even know what they'd be called. Like
competition.
Yes. Okay. My point is you need to write. Oh yes, equestrian moms.
Yeah.
Erin. Start there.
Okay.
Marianne, start there.
Okay.
Start at equestrian horse tournament. Jamie for the win. But like equestrian moms.
Right.
Right. Yes. Like. That's amazing. So I'm literally going to look this up.
Yes, Erin. Yes.
Equestrian moms, like equestrian life. I'm looking at the hashtags right now. Okay, that you need to go follow this site. Like this looks like normal humans. Don't look women who love horses. It's like sexy pictures of people on horses. Not that one. Jam. Like you're either going to know this is a hard yes or a hard no. Yes. You know, like, but there's some really cool, there's some really cool things you can connect with here, you know, like, and there's like 119 likes on their post. If you commented on it, they're going to notice that.
Right. Okay.
So that is basic shit. And you're going to get in your head and you're going to say, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I'll tell you something. I told Jamie that I wanted to call off being on the national wake up call. I was like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Why'd they even choose me? I don't know what I'm doing. I was so stressed out having to write that national wake up call thing. I had to leave my phone upstairs. You can't do that on Instagram, but I'm giving you an example. I had to leave my phone upstairs. I had to sit with my computer. I lit a candle. I put on my music from my Google, whatever it's called, the thing that talks. And I put on my favorite songs and I started writing. And in 45 minutes, I messaged Sandy and I said, I'm going to crush this call and you're going to cry. And she's like, well, that's cocky. I'm like, it's true. But before that happened, I was going to call off my I was going to give it to Erin. I was like, she could do a better one than me. It's stressful. It is stressful doing uncomfortable things. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to grow. And when that woman messaged you back, being like, I know, I love this too, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Do you know how good some of these workouts would be for women that are horseback riders?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So start talking about that.
And it's Erin knows this, but it's my why. That's because I haven't had one because I can't financially afford right now. So like, it's my dream why to get back into it.
Oh my God. It's also the universe talking to you. And every morning you're going to be like, I'm going to have whatever horse you want. Like you need to see her. You need to be, if it's a girl, I don't know if you want a boy or a girl, but like.
No, I want a boy. Girls are a pain in the ass.
Okay, perfect. But Marianne, you need to be so specific.
Okay.
Does he have a white patch on his eye? Mm-hmm. Does he have a long tail? There is no long tail. I'm ruining this vision.
It's okay. I can do it without it. I know. I have the vision already. I got it.
Vision that horse.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen when that horse walks? Sorry, Sophie, I'm laughing. But like, you need to.
Everyone else on this call is like, oh my God, why are we talking about horses?
No,
sorry, guys.
No, because every single person has a horse, but it's not a horse. It's your own thing. And guys, like, this is good stuff to be talking about. This is good stuff.
Because I think I get caught up in like, I need to invite someone. And then I'm like, I don't know who to invite. What am I doing?
You inviting an incredible normal human that you think would be amazing on your team, that's an equestrian mom, or would really benefit from. And another thing I want to delineate here, guys, like this is a very important point. I never say, come join my team. I want you to join my team. This is what I say. I am here to help you build a business. I would love for you to partner with me because I want to help you build this business because I know exactly where this could take you. That is a huge difference between now perhaps having someone that probably works in another job that's an employee, doesn't want to go be another employee. That's not what this is. And you have to remember, Marianne, that you connecting with the person that engages back with you is a connection. Mm-hmm. You don't have to invite someone to join your challenge group that you just met. Right. But you're inviting them to love your page. So I hope there's horses on there. I hope it's not just like, I hope there's a vision of that and barns. And like, I hope it makes sense to you that your story has to match what you're saying. Right. And if it doesn't, that's your work.
Erin's nodding her head at me.
Guys, no one could tell. Like I love Beachbody, but I'll just tell you, like, my goal is to become, Jamie, come on. My goal is to become like one of the best speakers in Canada, a well-known Canadian speaker. Yeah, I would never have thought I could even do that before. Like, I would never even have wanted to do that. You have to really, Marianne, you have to, and everyone else, you have to feel this. Like, and so for example, like I said that out, I casted that out, and I'll tell you, Edward Jones, a company from Edward or whatever, one of the chapters of Edward Jones messaged me. They're like, we'd really love you to guest speak for us. And I was like, bam, right there. So it's a free gig, but I'll get my face out there. I'm going to do anything I can to get my name out there. That's what you're doing right now, Marianne. Okay. You're getting out there on social media. You're putting your name in the ground. And then they're going to come watch you. So how are you showing up? Are you inspirational? Are you motivational? Are you educational? Are you providing value? Those are key. Are people saving your posts? Are they sharing your posts? Are they commenting on your posts? Are they reposting your posts? If they're not, that's a really cool area for you to learn some analytics, right?
Mhm.
So there's a lot of learning, but time's going to pass anyway. And overwhelm is just a feeling. And it's typically a feeling that happens when you're not taking action, which it sounds like you're not, because you're freezing. And that's why you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear who you connect with tomorrow. I'm going to wait for an inbox from you that you've connected with 15 girls. And at least I guarantee 4 of them are going to follow you back. So watch that. Your followers are even going to go up. And you're like, oh, that wasn't so scary. And then you're going to do it again the next day. But you're going to talk just like, tomorrow I'm going to do this. Tomorrow I'm going to connect with 15 women. It's going to be incredible. I might barf after I'm done, but I'm going to be amazing.
Oh, well,
right?
it's fine.
You know,
There are harder things, Kim, right? There are harder things.
There are harder things than being a human on social media. Like, guys, I'll tell you, you have to actually like humans in order to do this job. I'm sorry. Like, if you actually don't like women or talking to people, you will not survive. Like, so, and that means, I'm glad that's making you guys laugh, because you're like, I'm good. I love this. Like, that should take away your fear. Like, you're a good human. You guys are all incredible women with so much to offer. So that's just, you really got to remember that.
Okay, Kim, in the chat while you guys were talking about horses, everybody was super almost jealous that Marianne has this like amazing, beautiful niche. And a lot of women were saying like, I don't know what I love. How do I figure out what I love? What would you say to that?
Okay, you know what? It's so fair, because I feel like that too. I remember Jamie told me, he's like, Kim, you don't speak enough about business. And I was like, well, we're so different. I'm like, you are an entrepreneur. I didn't even know how to spell that. And I'm just thankful it's on my spell check right now. I know I'm an incredibly successful business owner. I know that I've built 2 7-figure businesses from the ground up. I know I've done that, but that doesn't mean that business like is what I want to talk about. Because I think from me helping women build themselves will help them build belief that they can build anything they want. So for me, my niche is actually not something I love. It's mindset and building belief. It's characteristic. It's leadership. I'm obsessed with leadership. So what are you obsessed with that you're willing to put yourself out on the line for? What are you ready to talk about? What are you ready to show up as? Like, you're not a yes, Beachbody's a vehicle, but it's not everything for you. I don't even like working out. I just started because I like Kamala. I died. 9 week was the worst. I hated 9 week Control Freak. I was like, I celebrated when it was over. I was like, and I realized, like, God, we put so much time into thinking we have to be in this box. Like, I can't, like, what do you love? I love weightlifting. I love women empowerment. I love sisterhood. I love all these things, but I don't love one thing. I love a lot of things. So I have 5 buckets. And that's one thing that's super important. Don't just necessarily narrow it down to one niche. I love fashion. Love it. Why I built Legacy. Freaking love fashion. And the reason why I was able to build Legacy was because of Beachbody. How cool is that? How cool is that? Guys, I never would have started Legacy had Jamie not started Beachbody, because I never would have started Beachbody without Jamie. I was too afraid. What are you too afraid of right now? What are you hiding behind right now? So those are important things to think about. I love fashion. I love food. God, I love food. I put fitness, but I'm like, I don't really love fitness, but whatever. It's important in your body. You make your body healthy. So it's part of it. I love my family. And what else on my post? Yeah. So there's, and faith, like spirituality, faith, right? So I'm like big on that. Those are my 5. Like, I really have 5. And if you look at my posts, they're pretty in that bucket. They're really in that bucket. I love sharing value. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a meal prep I gotta send you guys the profile for it. I had 2,000 saves and 4,000 shares and 300 followers on one post. I was like, and it was a meal prep, pick a gallery of 6 different foods. And then I tagged the owner. Like, we overthink this, but here's the difference. No one would think me posting food. I post my fridge pics. I love, that sounds terrible, refrigerator pictures, because I love organizing. I'm obsessed with organizing. That's something I do. So what do you do that you're good at? What do you do that you love? I love meal prep. I love grocery shopping. That can be part of your niche. And if you love that, it's not going to be a surprise when you share someone else's post that has to do with food. And it's not going to be a surprise when they come to you because they need help with nutrition. Does that make sense? Does that help? Like, make this more fun. And characteristics are awesome because characteristics are nebulous, right? You can like feel that. And that's how you can create thought-provoking posts, when you actually really, really care. And it's like from your soul. You know, like I'll even talk about the meatballs in the fridge when I was younger. Like, I have stories of food, opening the fridge, being like, oh, I love opening full fridges. Like, what do you love? Like, what are there things from your childhood that will link to a story that would help people get to know you, rather than just posting a recipe? What about you do they need to know from that recipe, and why?
So good.
I don't hashtag with my buckets. I just hashtag with what, and my friend Eve, one of our coaches on our team, she's going to do a whole hashtag training on Monday night on our team call. She's a champion at it. So I just got a new hashtag app, seems to be working, called Hashtag Experts. And I just type in what my post's about, and it generates 30 of them for me and copies them. It's amazing. Like, I don't know whether they're working, but they're amazing. I don't even understand hashtags. So I'm learning about that. That's a goal for me this week. But it's called Hashtag Experts. And it's just like a little pink thing. So try that. Download Hashtag Experts and try them. And then I just type in what the post's about. So mindset, women empowerment, things like that. Okay.
So many good nuggets. Thank you so much. I think that was super useful. Appreciate you and your time and your wisdom and your expertise and everything you have to offer us. Like, you are the queen, and we love you so, so, so much. So thank you a million times over.
And I'd like to know when all of you have liked and invited 15 in the Coach Corner, and I'm going to go spy on you all. So 15, let's go. You're all on the job. Let's crush this month.
Thanks, Kim.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.